Good morning, Tehmina Khan is here in TKMaths is fun. In today's video, we will see what is the meaning of factors and multiples in maths. So, for example, I will start with an example rather than definition so that you can understand it better. Right? So, for example, I ask you, what is the factor of, or what are the factors of 12? So, there are two ways to figure it out. Number one is, suppose you have good tables skill, you know the tables by heart. So you will start doing it in your mind from the smallest number. For example, I say 1 times 12 is 12, 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 4 is 12, and that is all. It means factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Or in other words, or other way, I would say, what are the numbers which can divide 12 completely, right? So if I see, for example, 1 times 12 is 12, remainder is 0. I say, okay, which other number can divide 12 completely? And I say, okay, 2 times 6 is 12, no remainder. So when remainder is 0, number is divided completely. So these two numbers will be the factors of 12, divisor and quotient. This is called quotient, this is called divisor. What else? 3 times 4 is also 12. So I got factors with the help of division and with the help of the table recall. So there are other ways, but I'm starting with the smallest one, right? Now these are the factors. So if somebody asks you what is a factor, you can say factor of a particular number will be those numbers when you multiply them, it gives you the product same like 12. Or if you divide a number by another number and you get remainder 0, then that number by which you are dividing and the quotient will be your factor. Let's see what are multiples. Okay, so multiples are, number one thing, if you notice here, all the factors are always smaller than the number for which you are looking for the factors. Now let's see in multiples. I want to know the multiples of 2. So for again, you need to have a strong remembrance of tables. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8, and so on. So these are multiples of 2. If I say what are the multiples of 4? 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 6, and so on. These are multiples of 4. So it means these are the numbers which comes in the table of 2 or in the table of 4. And that is very clear from the word multiples. You are multiplying, you are making it more. So multiples are always more than the number for which you are looking the multiples for. But in factors, the factors are always smaller than the number for which you are looking the factors for. Okay, so these are factors and multiples. Now what are composite numbers and what are prime numbers? You need to understand this also, because now I'm going to find out later two common multiples, two factors in the next video. So first of all, understand what are factors and multiples. So now if I ask you what are prime numbers first and then composite numbers. All those numbers which have only two factors are called prime numbers. For example, if I see 3, which two numbers when you multiply and you get 3? Think. 1 times 3. That's all. There is no other number which you multiply and get 3. So there are only two factors of 3. One is 1 and the other is itself, the number. Let's think of another number. For example, 5. If I see 5 times 5 is 5. again it has only two numbers which can multiply and give you 5. So these are the factors. So 5 is a prime number because it has only two factors. So we can say the prime numbers have only two factors. Prime numbers have only two factors. Do you think prime numbers are always odd numbers? If I ask you, are prime numbers are always odd, what will you say? Let's take another example. For example, 7. 1 times 7 is 7. Is there any other number which can multiply and give you 7? No, this is again odd number. So what does it mean? Prime numbers are always odd? No. 2 is the only even number or the smallest number which is even and prime. Okay. No other even number is prime. It is only 2. Why? Let me see another even number. For example, 4. 4 is 1 times 4 is 4 and 2 times 2 is 4. So if I see how many numbers are there? 1, 2 and 4. So there are 3 factors of 4 which can divide 4 completely. Yes or no? If I divide 4 by 1 time 4 is 4. Or if I divide 4 by 2, 2 times 2 is 4. So there are more than 2 factors of 4. But prime number has only 2 factors. So if somebody asks you, which is the even number which is also a prime number? Answer is 2. Which is the only even number which is a prime number? Answer is 2. So all other numbers which have factors more than numbers which have more than 2 factors, all those numbers are called composite numbers. So for example, I'm starting with the smallest 4, 6. Let me write counting and then I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just few examples, okay? So that you can make sense out of it. 9 and 10. Just a minute. Okay. Now if I see, it has only 2 factors. 2 has, and I have just discussed with you. What are those? 1 and 2. 3, 1 times 3. 4, 1 times 4, 2 times 2. 5, 1 times 5. 6, 1 times 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 7. This is 1 times 8. 2 times 4. Any other? 4 times 2. Of course, the reverse of it, of course. But this is counted as 1. 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 4, 8. And 3. 9. 1 times 9. 3 times 3. So on, I can see the composite numbers are other than prime numbers. They have more than 2 factors. Yes or no? So composite numbers are those numbers which have more than 2 factors. Now what else you need to know in it? Now you need to understand the wording. If I say, is 1 a prime number? Is 1 a prime number? No. Prime number is the only number which is neither a composite number nor a prime number. It is not prime and it is not composite. Okay? 1 is not a prime number, neither a composite number. So I hope you understand this video and the meaning what is prime number and what is a composite number. Right? Factors, multiples, prime number, composite number. You understood all this. Now we will connect it with HCF and LCM. And by the way, in this concept, when